Are you moving to Wichita, Kansas? Well, you better make sure you watch this video first before moving. We're going through the process of relocating to Wichita, Kansas. You want to make sure you stay till the very end because we got some good stuff in this one today. We're getting after it right now. So right out of the gate, we're going with number one. You want to do your research. Listen, I get it. You got Google, Facebook, all these different places, all this noise going on, kind of going through, you know, like I said, Facebook, you might find some Facebook relocation group, but listen, where is the number one place you go to solve a problem? You want to try to fix something? YouTube. There you go. This is no different. Where else are you going to go and not be harassed? People trying to sell your information. You're not being heckled. Jump on YouTube. Figure out what you need to figure out. Like you're doing right now. That's what this is. On your area. Wichita, Kansas. Pros, cons, cost of living. Not only the good, but the not so good. It's all there. Feel free to check the channel out, but do your homework. So once you've gotten through that research stage, and you know, it's going to vary from person to person. I've had people reach out, 6-7 months later. I've had people reach out 2 days later. Learn at your own pace. There's a lot of content to consume, not only Wichita, but the surrounding areas. So once you've kind of got an idea, you've done your research, your homework, as it were, we need you to make a list. That's going to be number 2. Make that list. Go through, have an idea what your needs are, the non-negotiables, what you do not want. Is it a particular area? Is it a particular school? Do you need to be close to a job? Some of these things that I don't want this. I don't want to live in an HOA. I don't want to live in the city. I don't want to live in the country, whatever. Figure out what your non-negotiables are, the do's, the don'ts. From there, I want you to take that list of do's and don'ts, especially the do's. Prioritize them. What is most important? Is it the job? Is it the school? Are you needing to be, does this house have to be a certain size? It's going to vary from person to person. So just sit down, like I said, after you've done that research, make this list. Are you needing specific, are you wanting specific amenities in say a community, golf, maybe a country club, tennis courts, pools, make that home experience better. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna vary from person to person. So nothing's gonna come off as silly. I've heard just about anything, everything. So get the list, give it some serious thought, give it some serious time. Prioritize what you need, what you're looking to do. Number 3, and I can't stress this enough, reach out. Once you've done the research, once you've got the list, and you have a rough idea what you're looking for, maybe where you're looking for, reach out. Whether it's a call, it's a text, it's an email, it's a DM, however you need to reach out, reach out. Listen, I get it. It sounds really salesy, but that's not what it's about. We have you reach out to set up your game plan. What that means is we take the research, we take the list, and we start to draft a plan, how you are going to get from A to Z. Now, it's pretty common for people just to kind of wing it and reach out, and we're kind of behind the 8 ball. The plan is, like I said, you reach out, it's gonna kind of sound a lot like this right now. So we're talking, you're giving me, your idea of the perfect home for you. Look, if you have an idea on location, price, budget, what's important, what amenities you're needing, if that's what's important, near that job, near that particular school. So we're able to kind of get that game plan together. As you're telling me more, as you're painting that picture, we're thinking, okay, well, maybe this area, you want to live outside, you want, X amount of acreage for the home. We're already kind of getting an idea of potential areas, places that could ultimately work for you. So, when you are ready to come make that trip up, we're already making the best of it. We're going to go straight to these locations. We're not wasting time, and ultimately we're going to get you in the best possible position. But you got to do the homework. You got to get that list. We got to have that conversation. It's ultimately going to help you make the most of your time while you're here, and this is going to help me be able to paint a better picture for you. It's only going to work based on you doing the homework, you reaching out and letting us know, okay, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. So on to the next. Hey, let me know, are you getting some value? maybe even a little, do me a solid, like, comment, subscribe. Maybe you know someone, share it with them. Maybe this isn't for you. That's okay. You know, like I said, share, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you got a question, reach out. I can't read your mind. Call, text, email, DM, all that good stuff. Morning, noon, early night, guys, weekends, I got your back. I'm talking to people. I'm helping people each and every day, and I love it. Check out the Discord server. One-stop shop for all your information. We're constantly adding. Plugs aside, we're getting back to it. Number 4, we're setting up the search. Couple parameters, some things to keep in mind. Budget. If you got an idea of location, you know, location or locations, plural. These are all things we're going to do to craft that home search. Obviously, the beds, the baths, all that good stuff. There's a couple things you want to keep in mind. How much is your dream home actually going to cost you? With your budget, do you actually see any options that you realistically could see yourself making an offer? Now, on that second one, if you don't see anything, we're stopping right there. We got to go back to the drawing board. You might need to make some compromises. I know that's not fun at all, but we want to make sure we're being realistic. Does this meet my list? Go back to the list, and that's why we had to rank it. What's most important? Because, you know, if it's not all there in the budget, we're gonna have to make a compromise somewhere. Just a little something to keep in mind. We want to be upfront, be transparent in the very beginning now, rather than you come here and we're in the thick of things and nothing works. Nothing is popping up that checks those boxes. So, like I said, rank them. We want to make sure when we get those searches in there that there's a little bit of wiggle room. We want to make sure we've got it dialed in, but you know, it's going to vary from person to person. No two searches are the same, no two homes are the same. And that's what's great about this. That's what I love about this. So kind of be willing to compromise if it's not showing up, if what you're looking for, and let us know. Let me know. It's doing neither one of us any good if you're holding back. We got to be transparent. We got to be honest with one another. But yeah, that's number 4. We're setting the search up. So number 5, plan the trip. You're gonna come and experience what Wichita is all about, maybe one of the surrounding areas. And this really kind of comes down to one of 2 scenarios. You're either ready, you've done the homework, you've made the list, you're good to go. Then we go. Maybe you're not quite ready, you've not, for whatever reason, you've done the homework, you've got the list, or maybe not. For whatever reason, if you're not quite there yet, you're at a point where, you know, you still want to come, you want to experience it, but you're not quite ready to take that next step. You're still in that discovery stage, that research stage. It's going to come down to one of 2 things. You're either going to be looking for maybe a new build or what we call resale, anything other than a new build. And just a few things to keep in mind. If we're looking at resale, you know, we're not going to be focused on homes. We're going to be more so focused on area. We want you to be certain. We want you to be prepared. The best use of your time is going to be focused on the area. The area, what you're looking for on that list, you know, against the various areas, what might actually work for you. It's not really the best use of our time together because it is so limited. You know, going to take a look at a house, you know, this seller's gotta grab the kids, the doggos, whatever, all the while, you know, we have no interest in making them. So we're not gonna, if it's resale, we're not gonna be focusing on the home. I mean, really, for the area, if it's just Wichita, I mean, really, this is one of those questions I get, well, how long should I stay for? Well, really, I mean, with Wichita, a day, 2, if you're doing Wichita and the surrounding areas, if you're going to take that extra trek, maybe 2-3 days if you're wanting to be thorough. But I mean, it's not as large as some of these other cities, and you can get most of it done fairly quick. At the end of your trip here, we're going to set up the timeline moving forward. That part down, and that transitions us to number 6, your timeline. What is it going to look like moving forward? This is also keeping in mind some of the other, I guess, not so common things to think of. Think of it like driving in the car with your side mirrors, that blind spot. You know, you're so focused on, hey, this new place, this is exciting. You know, do I have a home to sell at home? What am I going to do with that? Uprooting my family. The other kind of fine details. We've got your back, and like I said, before you leave, what does the timeline look like from here? We want you to leave knowing that, okay, we've done our homework, we've got the list, we've looked around, I have a rough idea, or maybe you have an idea what that area looks like, what you're specifically looking for. At this point here, things you want to be keeping in mind, and this will be a lot of this stuff will be stuff that we talk about in the very beginning. You know, are you bound by a lease? Do you have a home to sell back home? You know, this other kind of stuff. The timeline. Are you needing an agent? Do you not have an agent? Well, guess what? We have agents all over the country. Coast to coast, excuse me. If you don't have somebody, we can send you somebody, because these little things here, the fine details, if you were, are very, very important to your success. You know, having somebody that we are familiar with, we know is ultimately going to be making that transition a lot easier. You want to know one or two things that you're going to ask any agent. Any competent agent should be able to answer these questions. How quickly do you reasonably expect my home to sell based on the data? We're talking the average days on market. Now this is going to help you out with this, with the sale. Having a rough idea of how long it's going to take for the home to sell, what the average days on market are, and having it priced right, all that good stuff. You're going to have a rough idea, time frame where you need to start making your moves. I can't speak for your market. Around here, typically 30 days. There's going to be some leeway here and there. There are specific situations where, you know, a particular loan type is longer. Things do come up. There are those surprises. So it's just all these, there's a lot of moving parts, as it were. But ask them that. And then from there, worst case scenario, what is the price that my home is going to need to sell for in that timely manner? And how much from the proceeds am I going to net? We could clean that up. To kind of fit that days on market, what is that magic number? What is that magic number? What am I going to? Days on market, magic number, what am I netting? That is your bottom line. Any competent agent should be able to get those answers for you in a timely manner. So at this point, just a quick recap. You've done the research, you've got the list, we've had our discussion, you've experienced Wichita, you've experienced the surrounding areas. You're deciding, hey, this is for me, you're moving forward, and we've got the timeline down. We've got everything lined up at home. Now it's everybody's favorite part. Let's go look at homes. Now, we can do this a number of ways. You know, do you want feet to the ground? Do you want to come back and we set this all up in person? You look these homes. We go take a look at these homes together in person. We can certainly do that. Maybe for whatever reason that's not an option, or that's not something you're willing to entertain. There's certainly, with the advent of technology getting ever so greater, we can take care of those virtual showings as well. You have options here. You know, we're going to keep it within that budget, and in those locations that you're wanting to ultimately live in for whatever reason. Like I said, the job, the school, close to the amenities, maybe close to the stores, convenience. For whatever reason, everything's done. We're looking at homes. We'll submit offers. We can, all this stuff can be signed electronically. So I've had cases where the buyer came in, we looked at houses, you know, and we looked at houses, we made offer, the offer got accepted, we took care of the earnest money, we took care of the inspections, everything was on the up and up, appraisals paid for, they went back, and we did everything else electronically, on the phone, e-signatures. I've had cases where I've never met the buyer until we went for the final walkthrough. We did our closing. So, I mean, there's a lot of leeway there. We need to make sure we're on the same page. We know what to expect from one another. that communication is key, especially if you're not here in person. So we will go through that process. Like I said, typically, I don't like using that word, but typically a transaction here in Wichita is about 30 days. Like I said, there's some loan types where it might push that out to maybe 45, 60 days. There are occasionally things that pop up that might, prolong a closing. There's certainly things we can do to speed up a closing, and it all just kind of stems down to communication, having our ducks in a row. All that paperwork, all that stuff that the various people are needing, the lender, the title company, just keep the communication up, and, the rest will fall. And, there's a lot of, like I said, moving parts. HOAs, maybe like you need to sell a house or for whatever reason. But as long as we're setting those expectations up front, the communication is wide open. We are able to make this work for you in the most convenient manner possible. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. This goes through from A to Z, let me know. Was this helpful? If it was, throw me a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Maybe you got a question. Leave comments down below. Throw me a comment. Where are you relocating from or potentially relocating from? Let me know. Until the next one, guys, we'll see you later.